Yo, we back. So Julio Foolio, killer's uncle, just took the stands. He one of the Murphys. You know, the Murphys. So let's get right into it, see what he got to say, man.
Oh, and Mr. Murphy, please stand up and raise your right hand.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this cause will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, very good. You may proceed.
I ain't gonna lie though. If you in jail for murder, I don't want you talking for me, bro. I don't think it's nothing you can tell these people if you already locked up for murder. How you gonna defend me and I'm on the murder and you locked up for murder? Oh, Lord Jesus.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I think that's speaker on.
Got him handcuffed and everything.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Can you please state your full legal name?
Winston Leo Murphy, ma'am.
And
The Murphys.
you're currently incarcerated
Yes, I am.
for what?
Principal to second degree murder.
All right. And are you familiar with someone by the name of Davion Murphy?
Yes, I am, ma'am.
Who is he to you?
That's my oldest brother's son, which is my nephew.
Okay, so you're his uncle.
Yes.
Did you grow up with Davion's father?
Yes.
What's his father's name?
David Murphy.
And where is he currently?
He's currently incarcerated.
For what?
Principal to second degree murder.
And
The daddy a killer too? And the uncle a killer? Oh no, they raised two little killers, Lord Jesus.
what was his sentence?
I think life plus 30.
And do you recall the year that he was sentenced, if you know?
I think around about 2014.
And what about yourself? What sentence
Life
did you
plus
receive?
30.
50
Ooh.
years or 20 of them mandatory, ma'am.
And when did your case resolve?
2012.
Okay. And were you and Davion's father involved in the same event?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And how old were you when that happened?
26.
And how old was Davion's father when this happened?
I'm going to say about 29.
All right. Do you have other brothers or sisters?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
How many, and what are their names?
Jamila Murphy is my sister, and Farrar Murphy is my middle brother, and Rashard Murphy, which is my nephew, Rashard, oldest brother. He's, I think at the time, he's like 49. My sister's like 47, and my other middle brother, Farrar Murphy, like, I think like 44, like 46.
So how many in total siblings do you have?
I have 4 in all.
All right. I want to talk to you a little bit about David Murphy Sr., your older brother.
Yes.
Was he, to your knowledge, diagnosed with schizophrenia?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you tell us or give us some examples of the things that you would deal with on a daily or weekly basis as a result of him being diagnosed with schizophrenia?
He was in and out of mental hospitals mostly all my life.
Is there any event that you could share with us to let us know how it would be with dealing with someone with schizophrenia and living with someone with schizophrenia?
It's, if you don't understand them, they go through like spares of thinking people out to get him, paranoia, mind state sort of skip, sort of in that nature.
I didn't hear that, like you said, mind state.
Yeah, they're not really stable minded.
Okay.
They one person today and their character is the next tomorrow.
Do you know if this diagnosis is something that kind of runs on the paternal side of the family?
It possibly can, but I can't really say.
Objection, Your Honor.
Now, how you gonna ask that man a question like that? How he supposed to know? He just telling you what was going on with his brother, but he can't say if, like, he know if the whole family got nothing, but she trying to make it seem like Davion got a baby girl he already cooked.
Speculation.
Yes, this is Dave.
Do you know of any
Speculation.
other family members on the paternal side that suffer from that diagnosis?
My children, I have 3 children that diagnosed with mental problems, but at this moment, I can't recall which one, but I have 3 children that are.
And how old are they? How old are your kids?
My oldest is 18 and 16, and I think 50, no, it's 21, which is my oldest son, and my daughter 18, and my son 17. All 3 of them suffer with mental abilities.
And who takes care of them?
My fiance.
Do you recall?
Yo, fiance, nigga, you got 50 with a mandatory 20? Player, you don't know what's going on out here, player. You been gone for a little bit too long, man. You don't know what's going on out here. That been my fiance. Like, nigga, no, that ain't your girl, nigga. That bop, she around here bopping with everybody. Bop it!
A time, well, let me strike that. Let me ask you this. Davion's father, was he also an alcoholic?
He drunk at times, you could say. I wouldn't say alcoholic, but he did drink alcohol.
Did he drink to excess?
Yes.
Often?
Yes.
Okay. How did that affect how he acted when he would consume alcohol?
It would affect him.
Did you have the opportunity to observe your brother, David, taking care of or spending time with Davion and his younger brother?
At times, yes.
Can you tell us about that?
Davion and David, the father, is not together, so, David have his own place. But he took him to events, I would like a father would. I can't say out of my presence what happened, but.
Bro, if you can't say, just say that nigga went around, nigga. Yeah, that nigga went around. Don't he took him places, nigga. What that mean, nigga? He took him. He took him to the corner store, got him a bag of chips or something. The man went around. Just say he went around, but at the same time, I can't blame him for not being around, because how we diagnose stuff in the black community, you don't need help. You just crazy. Whole time you really been diagnosed with schizophrenia. But what we gonna say? You just crazy. Whole time that leads to you not getting the proper care that you need to deal with the situation that you have at hand. So I can't even say that like the man was a bad parent. The man was just, he was mentally, he was schizophrenic.
But he took him to an event. He spent time with him.
When he would, meaning Davion, would visit with his father, did you have any concerns about where he was residing, or would bring his nephew?
They still got this man in a big suit. I tried to ignore it, but I can't, man. Every day they put this man in a big suit. You know your suit too big. You look back, it got the space. You got a space on your collar and your neck. Your suit is too big, man.
Nephews?
I mean, Serena which is Davion's mother, is a wonderful woman, a wonderful mother to him. You know,
Is there a time where she kicked
I
Davion?
mean,
Go ahead.
excuse me.
Go ahead.
Me, you know, my brother, I'll be concerned. It all depends on, like you say, what environment he got him in, you know. But with his state of mind, yeah, I would be concerned. But with Serena's a great mother.
Okay, I want to focus kind of on Davion's father. Was
I'd have fired her. That's what I be talking about. He telling you about somebody that's been doing good with the man and treating the man good. You constantly want to talk about the daddy that got schizophrenia. That's how you know this lady came off the back of a cereal box. This makes absolutely no sense.
Is there a time where Davion and his brother were not getting along with his mother's paramour or husband or what have you, and she kicked him out of the house? Do you remember that?
Can you rephrase that?
Do you remember when Davion's mother kicked him out of the house and he went to go live with his father in a storage unit? You remember that?
I'm not familiar with that.
Okay. Do you remember any times where his mother kicked him out of the house?
No, ma'am, not that I can recall.
No? Okay. Did you have concerns about where the father would bring his nephews in the parts of the community that he would bring his nephews for their safety and things like that?
Yes. I mean, I would say yeah.
Why is that?
State of mind to be in.
His state of mind?
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
What you questioned me on earlier, you know, is mental abilities.
What about the places that he was staying? Like, were they in Section 8 violent communities?
I mean,
As to leading, Your Honor. Well, just overall, go ahead and answer.
Serena raised him in a home, but his father lived in apartments, so it's a big difference from raising children.
Okay, I want to focus on the apartments. Tell us about the kind of apartments, why you were so concerned about your nephew, Davion. I know this is hard for you. I do appreciate that, and I understand that.
Apartments is really not private. You know, a home is private. So my brother stayed in mine in some certain areas and certain apartments. I would be concerned about my nephew. I say that because the environment, apartment is private. It's not private, houses are private. But when my brother stayed in mine, you know, with him, you know, it would be a concern.
And was it part of your concern because of the violence where he was staying?
Possibly could have been.
Davion been a stone-faced killer, laughing in the court and everything. His uncle got him ready to break, hearing about his daddy and childhood and thinking all this stuff, and then the lady ain't trying to get away from his daddy and all that. Like, this is crazy.
What about Adam Gooden Jr.? Who is he to you?
That is Serena's son, which would be my step-nephew.
Did you have any involvement in his life?
He was at my mom's house every time Davion got dropped off. So he was pretty much like a nephew. He is my nephew.
So
even though he's not my biological, but he's my nephew.
So when Serena, which is Davion's mother, would drop Davion and Adam off to be cared for by your mother, is that a yes?
Yes.
And your mother's name is what?
Phyllis Murphy. God bless her dad.
And what was the reason that they were being dropped off to be cared for by your mother?
I just, what the family do, family, you know, unity, stay together, like family events, every weekend, faithfully.
Where did you grow up? Where were you
East side of Jacksonville. Iona Street, 1623 Iona Street, the east side of Jacksonville.
And what about Davion Murphy?
She over the years, I would say like the west side, the west, the north, the south. Over the years.
And would his father bring him to the east side?
Mostly his mother.
His mother would bring him to the east
Yes,
side?
Serena. He lived with Serena.
Okay.
And see, this how you know, like, you keep trying to put him with his father, and the dude is basically trying to tell you that, like, by the father having the schizophrenia and, like, just not being around like that, he went around him like that. That's why every time you ask him something, he keep putting the mother in that spot, but you ain't listening. You want to keep bringing up the father. This lady's crazy.
If I can approach the witness, Judge.
Yes.
I'm showing you what's been marked as Defense Exhibit 1A through K. If you could just flip through those photographs and tell me if you recognize them.
Davion and David. Be Davion. That'd be Davion and David and Adam.
You recognize those? Judge, at this point in time, I'll move to evidence what's marked as states Defense Exhibit 1.
No objection, Your Honor. Okay.
I just want to show you a
It's
couple.
composite exhibit.
Yes. A through K.
Right. Defense
And I can publish?
Yep.
I'm showing you 1A. Do you recognize that photo? Is that Davion when he was a baby?
Yes.
And this is 1B. Do you recognize that photograph?
Yes.
Is that Davion as well?
Yes.
And what about 1C?
I like that's Davion and Adam. Or Davion and David. It's like Adam.
Adam is his younger brother.
Yes.
This is 1D. Is that Davion as a baby?
Yes.
What about this picture?
That's
1E.
David. That's Davion and David.
Is this one Davion and David's the younger one?
Yes.
And then with this one is kind of hard to see, but 1F. What about this?
That's Davion and David again, ma'am.
1G.
Davion.
1H.
That's Davion, David, and baby Adam.
So Davion,
Is in the middle.
and this is who?
Adam.
Adam.
That's David.
1I.
You know what the worst part about this situation is? If all the older top male Murphys is locked up, who gonna protect the woman Murphys now? Sad, man. The uncle locked up, the daddy locked up. Rashad is finna get either life or death, and Davion is finna get either life or death. It's crazy.
So all those are Davion.
And then what about this 1J
Davion.
and 1K? Grown up now, huh?
Yeah, they done growed up. Like them the rest of Serena daughters. And I know, yeah, I've grown up. I could be David. It's been a minute. Hold on.
Haven't seen those in a long time, huh?
Yes.
I can approach the clerk. Okay. I'll pass the witness, Judge.
Okay, and Mr. Hernandez, if you would like to conduct your direct examination.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
I'm going to be asking you some questions regarding Rashad Murphy.
Yes.
Okay? What is your relationship to Rashad Murphy?
I'm his baby uncle.
And is he the gentleman that's sitting, I don't know if you can see over the screen, sitting next to me?
Yes, sir.
And you're his uncle, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you're, would it be correct to say you're his paternal uncle, the brother of David Murphy, correct?
Yes.
Now, have you known Rashad since pretty much birth?
Yes, sir.
Describe to the jury the childhood, the environment that he was raised in.
My father got a master's degree in psychology. He took his criminal justice course. He served.
Who is this, your?
This is Leroy Murphy, which is my father, which is his
Okay.
grandfather. And we grew up on the east side of Jacksonville, in a home off Iona Street. And he pretty much raises, to play sports, to complete school, and to meet our expectations.
Let me ask you about Rashad's father. Was he a positive or a negative influence in his life?
He was in and out of prison most times, but my father and
I'm talking about Rashad's father.
yes,
Okay.
he was in and out of prison most times, but he
Man, it seems like all these Murphy dudes, all they know is jail.
didn't raise Little Rashad, but he was in and out of prison most of his life.
Would it be correct to say that he was, in many ways, an absent father?
Yes,
Are you aware of any abuse that he gave to either Rashad or Rashad's mother, his wife?
can you rephrase that?
Are you aware of him being abusive, the father of Rashad being abusive?
Oh no, sir.
You don't know that?
No, sir. I do.
Oh, you do
he
know
wasn't.
that. Tell the jury about that.
He was.
Objection, Your Honor, he's answered.
Okay. What about Rashad's mother? Was she did she have an addiction to drugs?
At some point in his life, she had not all his life, but some point.
Okay. Are you have any knowledge of her being a crack addict?
Man, what the hell wrong with this lawyer? Y'all, you hired this man to represent you. We can barely get one word out. The judge ain't even say nothing. The man said, "Hey, he said, nah, I know he was not abusive." And then he tried to say something else. They said, "Hey, he answered. He still stuck on the last word. He said, come on, bro."
And eventually living on the streets.
She always had a place to stay, but she dealt in at portion of all his life, but most times, and she was on drugs. Not all his life, though.
Would it be accurate to say that you have referred to Rashad's father as dead weight?
Yes.
Okay. Now, what kind of neighborhood did Rashad grow up in? Was it a neighborhood that there was gun violence?
Not direct at our house, but surrounding areas, yeah.
Okay. And what are you aware of? Are you aware of his relationship with Charmaine Steger and his children?
Distance, yeah, but not like watching it hands on. Because you know, I've been gone 18 years. I've been in prison 18 years.
You've been in prison for different times, correct?
Yes.
Did you try to help be somewhat of a father figure to Rashad when you were not in custody?
Always have.
Okay. But when you've been incarcerated for a long period of time, correct?
Yes.
And on more than one occasion?
First time in prison.
Okay. When were you sent to prison?
2012.
Okay, so that would have been 14 years ago, correct?
Like 17.
Okay. When after you were incarcerated, was there any other male influence other than his grandfather?
Yes.
Okay. Who other than his grandfather?
I got a Miller brother, very financially set. My father, and I got cousins like brothers. We all close family. He had at least nine to 8 strong African American family members.
Okay. Would you describe,
I don't think that
maybe
really
I
matter.
worded it in a way, because you said the surrounding areas, would you describe the area or the neighborhood that Rashad grew up in as a fairly high crime area?
I mean, it'd be hard to say the whole, partial, the whole east side of Jacksonville. I mean, we can describe it as that, but not out the direct home.
Tell the jury about what you know about Rashad. What kind of person is he?
Great. He was a great kid growing up. Great.
Did you see him as a father and a husband?
Yes.
What about how was he with his children?
Great. He even had custody of his little brother and little sisters. He made me proud.
In addition, are you aware that there was a point in time that in addition to his own children, he was taking care of his siblings?
Yes.
What about, what knowledge, if anything, do you have about his time, of Rashad's time in a foster home?
I don't see how none of this is supposed to help Davion or Rashad.
Was there do you remember that he was placed in a foster home?
I can't recall that.
Okay. May I have a moment, Your Honor?
Yes.
He over there talking to Rashad like, look, nigga, you said this and I said that, but that ain't what he's saying, nigga.
Nothing else, Your Honor.
Okay. Cross?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Murphy, I'm going to ask you about Davion Murphy first, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And I know that Ms. Toomey, she asked you about Davion Murphy's father, David Murphy, and you said that you had known that he was diagnosed with schizophrenia and he had been in and out of mental hospitals. Is that correct?
Yes.
And you had testified that you were sometimes concerned
when Davion would be with his father and go into certain apartments. Is that correct?
I mean, his living environments.
Where he was living. But you said that even though you had concerns, you were not able to give the defense attorney or this jury one incident that you had recalled that had happened when Davion was with his father. Is that correct?
Not that I recall. I'm not saying incidents never happened, but not that I can recall that.
Not that you could recall. She was just asking you if you had ever been concerned, and you said that in general you did have some concerns, correct?
It just was the housing. I was always raised in a home, and Davion's mother raised him in a home.
And I'm going to ask you that next. Davion's mother, Serena, she was a wonderful mother, isn't that correct?
Yes.
And she is the parent that had primary custody of him when he was living with her. Is that also correct, sir?
Miss Trenchball don't play. She gets straight to the point. You see, Rashad Lloyd, he stumbling words. It take him an hour to get one word out. Miss Trenchball walk right up there, get straight to the point.
And when you said that Davion was with your parents, his grandparents, your mother and your father, that was a wonderful home, wasn't it, sir?
Yes.
And I think that you described in your deposition, although it may not have been the best environment, it absolutely was a great home to be raised in. Is that true, sir?
My father was in the military.
Yes. You said that he was in the military, always hardworking, and had a very structured environment for his kids and his grandkids. Isn't that true, sir?
Yes.
And you described your experience growing up, and Davion and your nephew, Rashad, when they were in that home, that they also had a loving, supportive home with their grandparents. Isn't that true, sir?
Yes.
And even though it may not have been the best environment and surrounding area, they could not have asked for a better upbringing. Is that true, sir?
I mean, yeah, I mean, they could have, but it was a struggle. I mean, we wasn't no rich, but
I understand that, sir, but I think what you described is when you're talking about the way that they were raised and loved and supported
Yes.
by your parents. Isn't that true?
yes, yes.
Okay. And now I want to ask you a few questions about Rashad Murphy, your nephew.
Yes.
Again, same situation. Whenever Rashad Murphy was living with your parents, his grandparents, again, he had a loving and supportive grandfather. Isn't that true, sir?
Yes.
Loving, supportive grandmother.
Yes.
And even though you may not have been in the home all the times that Rashad Murphy was there, from your recollection, he did well in sports, football in particular. Isn't that true?
Yes.
And so I asked you also about his grades. You said that he also did very well in school. Is that
Yes.
true?
Yes.
He continued to play football in high school. Is that true, sir?
Yes.
And part of that, he would have to keep up his grades in order to be able to do that. Isn't that true, sir?
Yes.
So you knew enough about his schooling to know that he did that.
Yes.
You also said it wasn't just football. There was a time when he also was doing boxing.
Yes. When he was younger, yes.
Yes. So his parents or your grandparents made sure that he had activities and was able to do that. Isn't that true, sir?
Yes.
And in fact, you just went through some wonderful pictures that were taken during that childhood. Isn't that true, sir?
Yes, that was Davion, right?
Oh, I apologize. It was Davion. Thank you for
Yes.
correcting me. But same could be said for Rashad. He was able to do those activities and had that normal type of activities in the home with your grandparents. Isn't that true, sir?
Yes.
Celebration of birthday parties, stuff like that.
Yes.
And you described him that he was a great kid growing up. Isn't that true?
Yes.
And you don't have any recollection or any knowledge about what his time was like in foster care. Is that true, sir?
I wouldn't recall.
Okay. Your Honor, may I have one moment?
Yes.
And
The bailiff back there looking like court guard. That man looking like he about to fall asleep up in there. I wish y'all hurry up. He looking out. I wish y'all hurry up. Tired as hell.
And sir, when asked specifically about any sort of abuse to Rashad by his father, you said that there was no abuse as far as you knew. Is that correct?
Not that I recall.
And it sounds like from what you've testified with regards to Rashad and both Davion Murphy, that with regards to your family, your parents, your mother, your dad, their grandparents, and all of your other family, that you were a very close-knit family. Is that correct?
Yes.
And when needed, they would step in and assist with the raising of all their grandchildren if that was needed. Isn't that true, sir?
Yes.
And you have described, when you're talking about Davion Murphy's mother, that she was a great parent and was there for Davion. Isn't that true, sir?
Yes.
Okay. I have nothing further, Your Honor.
Okay, redirect Ms. Timmy.
All right, look, I ain't gonna make the video too much longer, bro. They ain't really asked this man nothing like this information provided, ain't nothing important. They still either gonna get life or death. Y'all make sure y'all check out the playlist. It's your boy Buddha. I'm out.